Hello, YouTube Nation. Just back to another episode of The Lies You Tell with Uncle T. And I got an exclusive for you. I think I did the last exclusive about the paternity fraud in the state of Tennessee. And following up with another episode of fraternity fraud, which I'm sharing my story, my truth. There are some things that every man needs to know here in the state of North Carolina before I even get started, just so that if there's any issues with truth, because when you tell the truth, things people get upset. But in the state of North Carolina, truth is an absolute defense to defamation. If the statement is true, the case will fail. The burden of proof is on the person to show that I'm lying. So for all those people who think that this is defaming or this is not true, prove otherwise. Suing for telling the truth. You can't be sued for telling the truth and question if the information is true, no matter how unpleasant the statement may be. But once again, welcome back to the channel. YouTube Nation, let me talk to you. Real talk for real people. Like I said, I did an exclusive last week about the Tennessee law. Tennessee law, we had the Representative Antonio Parkinson, who had talked with an individual young man who was with a girl for about 5 years, had a relationship. During that 5 years, I guess he heard rumors that she was having an affair, or she messed around on him, and he found out about it. So during that time, they split up. He had paternity test done. Come to find out, child wasn't his. So what she did was she sued him for child support. She went to take him to court for child support. I guess she figured, I'll take him uptown for child support before he gets a chance to show that the child's not his. So they went to court, showed all the paperwork to the judge, and the judge, I guess, made a mockery out of it. Judge said, well, even though the paperwork says that the child is not yours, somebody's got to feed this child. And man had to pay all the arrears. He had to pay child support and basically taking care of a child that wasn't his. So state of Tennessee changed the laws where they're the 5-year, I think it was a 5-year limitations to where you couldn't bring the case to court saying that you were not the father. I believe so. And they changed that. They removed the 5-year statute. And also now that before anyone can, if you're unmarried and you can't say that such and such is the child's father and put it on a birth certificate or try to take the man uptown for child support, you have to get a paternity test to prove that this man is the father of your child. So that way, that's going to eliminate all this. I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to say the child is yours. It's going to eliminate all that. The whole game will be changed. The whole game is changed in the state of Tennessee. And I am hoping that the same thing happened here in North Carolina. A lot of times the states will want things adopt in one state, they move to another state, and other states adopt that same procedure. And I hope it's for a lot of the brothers here in North Carolina. I hope that does come here, that a lot of you have been told that you were the father or the parent of a child that's not even yours. And I did on the last exclusive, 35%. They found out that children were not even the fathers who contested it. 40% found out through deathbed confessions, people who had children who had illnesses, and they had blood tests done, and the doctors come back and say, you're not the father. I can't use for you for a blood transplant, blood transfusion, or I can't use your organs or anything like that, or a kidney or anything like that, because you're not a match. Okay, and what a situation to find out that you're not the biological father when your child is sick and they need a kidney or something, and you need to donate a kidney, and find out that you're not a match because you're not even the father. What a way to find out. So this is a situation that kind of rubbed me wrong, because there are so many men out here that are victims of paternity fraud. Basically, in my situation, I had an ex, and I would just use the name Delilah, because that's what I feel that Delilah is a suitable name. And I feel that the situation is that I want to tell everyone out there that if you have been a victim of paternity fraud, get paternity DNA. Because if you're married, the laws presume that you're the father. If you're married to someone, get DNA testing. What you have to do is get DNA testing done, prove that you're not the father of the child. And when you go to court, as long as you're within the statutes and you can prove that you're not the father, the judge can remove you from all legal standings and legal any type of responsibility for that child. So that's what I did. I may be the few exceptions to the rule. Basically, how it all turned out was that I was married to Delilah, and we divorced. And one of the things that took place, that 2 children were born basically out of adultery in the relationship while serving in the military. And what happened is that I remember being at home at my parents' house, and I used to complain all the time about sending money. I complained about the money not being spent properly, and guess it got to a point to where she got tired of hearing me talking about it. And I remember being at my mother's house, doorbell ring. She had trash bags full of the children's clothes, put them on my mother's front porch, said, if you think you can raise them better than me, then you raise them. I said, not a problem. No problem. She moved to Atlanta, went to Georgia. All right. Now think about this. I had all the kids there at the house, had all their clothes. I was still in the, actually at that time, I believe I was still in the military at that time. Almost ready to get out. Trash bags full of the kids' clothes at my mother's front porch. Got in her car. She drove away. So at that point, I said, fine, not a problem. I went and got an attorney the next day. Got a court order. Took custody of the children. Even though married to this woman. And got a court order. Took her to court. And got custody of the children. Full custody. And at that time, and this is what's the kicker about it, the courts are so one-sided towards the women that if a man goes to court, has 2 children, you probably end up paying $500, $600, $700, $800 a month or more in child support. I had 2 kids. Delilah had to pay me $24 a month for 2 children for child support. $24 a month. And I was told, I'm not giving you nothing. I'm not paying you child support. $24 a month. $12 a month for per child. And she got behind on $24 a month child support. That can be proven through the child support office. Not a lie. Everything's documented. Went to DNA testing. Matter of fact, DNA testing right here. I keep everything. DNA testing, child custody paperwork, DNA testing, receipts, divorce decree. I got all the receipts. I don't have to lie about anything. Anybody that knows me, they know all the hell I went through. I went through hell and back for many years. For so many years, I often wondered, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do so badly to that two children, knowing that they were not my children, that I was blamed for two children that that were not mine, and drug me through the mud, made my life painful. And I look back over my life now, and I see, not only was I a victim of paternity fraud, but this is what happens to many men out here that deal with this. Individuals lay down, have a good time, mess around with Pookie and Ray Ray and Junebug now. Have a good time. Everybody's having fun until you get pregnant. Once you get pregnant, it's not fun anymore. And what I have seen, just the stories from other men that same thing happened to me, is that Pookie and Ray Ray were lowlifes. We don't want to put the baby on Pookie because he's a pothead or he's a drug head. He's not really good father material. He was just good to hang out with, have a good time, smoke some weed, get drunk with, have some sex. But he's not somebody I want to be a father to my child. Then you got the other individual, this other infidel, who everybody's having a good time, everybody's doing their thing till you get pregnant. And that's just how it is. So we want to put the baby on the guy who's got a good future, the guy who's smart, a guy who's intelligent, a guy who's a hard worker, so that I know my child will be well taken care of, because let's put the baby on him because I know my kids will have a good future. That's what happened to me. And that's what happens to so many other people. And I just wonder, how cruel could you be to do that? And it puzzled me for so many years. I asked myself that question for so many years. And I internalized it for so many years. I believe that, I constantly ask myself, what did I do to deserve that? In the military, want to try to have a good future, want to do the right thing, want to provide a future for your family. And I just felt like, what did I do so bad that would cause you to go out and have children by other men? It's puzzling. I think I would have to say that is the most cruelest thing I have ever experienced in my life. I don't think that anybody has ever done anything to me so mean and hateful as that in my life. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. And I don't wish it on any man. I would tell any man out there, if you're going through it, get out. Get those paternity tests. Go to court. If you're within that 5-year statute, most states have a 5-year statute. Get out, go to court, get that paperwork done, and go to court and get your name off those birth certificates or whatever you need to do, or, and not go through hell, go through a life of hell, because these young ladies out here, these women out here will put you through hell behind these kids, and they use these kids as pawns, and they will use these kids to hurt you. And it's so amazing to me that the so-called infidels, you would think that the men would have stepped up, because I found out years later that conversations had took place, that dialogue had took place, that these individuals asked. I asked you. I was told by one individual. I asked her years ago, was that my child? And she said no, because she didn't want it to be my child, because she didn't like me anymore. She didn't like me. And well, my thing is, you're a real piece of work yourself, because if I had a son and I knew that was my son and my firstborn, and I thought that was my child, I would have fought for my child. I would say, hey, hold on. I don't want no other man raising my child. That's my kid. I'm going to fight for my child. That didn't happen. Didn't happen. But because these cowards are so scared of child support, they rather not pay child support, not have any relationship with the child, be in the child's life, or anything. I only found out about the children going to meet the father. I didn't know anything about it. And the judge even put it here in the documentation, in the docket. I have receipts for that right here too. The judge said that the kids came home one weekend, came back home and said, we met our real father today. We met our real dad. Blowed me away. Blowed me away. You may imagine your children coming back home on the weekend telling you, we went this weekend to meet our real dad. I didn't even see it coming. Didn't get no warning, no nothing. These are not lies. Like I said, I got the receipts. The judge even put it in the docket. He even put it in the decree as to what happened. So I'm not worried about anybody saying, oh, this is a lie. It's the straight truth. I have no reason to lie. I'm almost 60 years old. I'm 60 years old in a couple of months. I have no reason to lie. I'm too old for that, because I'm at a stage of my life where I could care less what you think. I don't care less what you think and what you think about me. So I have no reason to lie. So, as years went by, I fought with a lot of things over my life, and that I couldn't shake. And, and I say, why do you have to be so evil? Why do you have to be so evil? And I just said that, I didn't realize that now, since I'm, more educated, about things and in life and, college and things like that, educated myself in a lot more things, that I was married to a narcissist. A female narcissist, and had no idea. Somebody that don't care about their actions, will do what they have to do that meet their goals. They'll hurt you, hurt your feelings, hurt your emotions, hurt your, would do anything that's whatever's important to them, they'll get it and they'll do it. You know, if a person, if you're with a person right now, or girlfriend, ex-wife, or whatever, if you're dealing with a person that has no remorse, do things, have no remorse, be very careful, because these people will hurt you. Kids didn't have anything to do with it. They did not ask to be born. They were just children. And a lot of people through the years have said, hey, you could have just walked away. Nobody would have been mad at you. Everybody knew. People that knew me, they knew. They said, you could have just walked away. Nobody would have been mad at you. They wouldn't even blamed you, because they wasn't your children. If you had walked away, who would have been mad about it? Nobody. But you know what? I was dad. I was dad. I was dad. I was the only person they knew as father. I was their father. They knew me as dad. They had a relationship with my mother, my father, my brothers and sisters. I mean, they were not like little infants. They were growing up, you know, they was 3 years old, 4 years old. For me to have turned my back on them and walked away would have been detrimental. I'm a bigger person than that. A lot of people say you should have walked away. Maybe you wouldn't have went through so much hell. But you know what? The children were more important to me. They were more important to me. So that's why I stayed in their life and raised them, along with my current wife of 32 years, who have helped me through thick and thin, who also, you know, have to deal with a lot of stuff. Not only have I had to deal with stuff, but, you know, when I go through, she go through. And love the kids. They're grown now. They have their own children, their own families now. But it's terrible for anybody to do anybody like that. You know, whether you like it or don't. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, years have passed. I mean, I think the oldest child now is like 40, 41, 42, 41 years old. This was almost 41 years ago. Not no really reason to get mad about it. It is what it is. It was what it was. You know, I'm just telling my truth, that I was a victim of paternity fraud. I was. Because the children were not mine, but I was blamed or told they were mine when it was known fact that they were not mine. You know, children, great kids. I thank God that I had my hand as a part of their life and helped raise them. But if anytime anyone in the comments, hey, any man, hey, if you got questions, hey, you can get through it. But I wouldn't go through it as long as I did. I went through it for many years. Many years. I think if you willing to walk away and cut it short, that'll be something you have to do. But a lot of times it drains you. It left a hole in my heart that still up to this day is filled to a certain extent. But the level of cruelty, the level of evil and wickedness that women will actually do to put a life on another man that they know is not theirs child and make them pay for it. And it's like, I'm going to make you pay for Pookie's baby. I'm going to make you pay for Ray Ray's baby. Ray Ray sitting back, got some other girl pregnant. And you making a good man pay for Ray Ray's baby. And it's not right. It's not even fair. A lot of time the court system they're not fair at all. When it comes to the man, they're not fair at all. It pretty much favors the woman. I'm just probably one of the exceptions that God definitely had his hand on me, because the whole scenario made me who I am today. I'm a conqueror. I'm successful. I'm focused. Made me go back to school, got college degrees. Successful businessman, entrepreneur, and even raised more kids. I mean, even had other children. So it made me a better man, but at the same time, it made me very bitter over the years. It made me very bitter over the years, which I've gotten so much better because I can see Delilah and be cordial. I can see Delilah and be cordial. And because I realized after all these years that, you know, when it goes to the Bible, I'm just going to shoot you some spiritual warfare. When it goes to the Bible, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. But Delilah was sent. And I think for a lot of men, you got to understand Delilah is a spirit. Delilah is being used by Satan to bring a lot of good men down and to destroy the men of God. Delilah was sent. I realized Delilah was sent to destroy me, because when I look at my future, where I am now, and I even looked at where I could have been, I realized that Delilah was sent in my life to destroy me, because God had a plan for me, and I think that Satan knew where I was headed as well. And somehow his job was to destroy me, to make sure I never got there. But praise be to God, I overcame a whole lot of things, a lot of obstacles. And there's a void in your heart sometime when you think, especially when it comes to Father's Day, you can't help but think about certain things when it comes to Father's Day. It's different for me. Father's Day is not the same for me when I think about it. And it's been like that for many years. Because you try not to think about things, but it's very hard. It's almost like losing something. It's not equivalent to a woman losing a child or a parent losing a child, but it's ranked right up there. Because women do not understand when a man finds out that a child is not his. The man has a legacy he's trying to leave behind. When a woman, I mean, you talking about betrayal. I mean, that is a whole level of betrayal. I mean, you can't even take it lightly. I know a lot of people may want to say, oh, it ain't that big deal. Man, for a man, you can't even, the level of betrayal and just I have to say it's just evil and wicked. I mean, it's just a level of betrayal that you would never, ever, a woman could never experience what that feels like for a man. Never. And especially when a woman drag a man through the mud and drag him, knowing that he didn't have to go through all that, but I'm going to put him through it anyway. And most men don't take the time and just go ahead and get a DNA test, because that's the best thing you can do is get a DNA test. Once you get that DNA test and it's within that 5-year statute, don't wait till the kids become 15, 16 years old and want to get a DNA and say, oh, that's not my child. No, there nothing's going to change. You got to do it right at the 5 or less years. 5 or less years. If you even think that child is not yours, you better go ahead and do it. But like I told them in my last video, men, you think you're cheaters. And you think you're suave and you think you're sweet and you're so cool, but what you do, I'm telling you what, women are the best cheaters in the world. Best. Men cheat more than women, but women are smooth with it. You'll never know. You'll never know. You'll never, ever, ever know. They're real smooth. And I learned a lot of things over the years. I learned a whole lot of things over the years. People talk. People share their stories. They share what they knew that I didn't know. And I learned a lot of things. But, you know, we've grown over the years. And I say when 2024... I'm going into a new chapter of my life, and there are some things I'm shedding layers, and I'm moving into 2024, and God has some great things in store for me, and there's some things that I had to get off my chest because this story kind of struck me wrong. It kind of struck me a chord in me because I'm so tired of hearing men get destroyed by women who want to just put babies on you because you're the best candidate when they out there having fun and laying with these low-life infidels, scrotum sacks is what I call them. They just low down scrotum sacks. They're laying out, they're having a great time, just making babies all over the place. But yet the good guy who tries to do the right thing, you the one who get dogged. And that's how I feel about it. Some people may get mad about this video. You know, like I said, I'm almost 60 years old in March. I'm at that age now, I could care less whether you get mad. I don't care what people think and what they say in my life because I'm at that point in my life now. I've come too far, done too many things, been too many places. Paternity fraud. That's the bottom line because Uncle T said so.